Welcome back in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, broadcasting live from New Orleans at Radio Row. Our coverage brought to you by Low T Center and Rude, who is proud to partner locally with Roscoe Brown. Dianna Russini with us from the Athletic NFL Reporter. What's up? How are you?
Hi. I am awesome, considering I went to bed at 3:30.
Yeah.
Nice. So last year when the Chiefs won, if you guys remember, cameras captured Taylor Swift hugging Travis Kelce right afterwards. And she'd flown across the ocean. I think she was touring in Germany. And he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're here. I can't believe you made it. You must be exhausted. And she goes, jet lag is just a mindset, baby. And so I've been using that this week.
Wow.
That Super Bowl exhaustion is just a mindset. So I'm not letting it see. It's not going to get me.
You got a force field up.
What is the exhaustion? Because breaking stories, parties,
No,
networking?
all work, because I know my bosses live in the Nashville area.
There you go. Nothing else.
Writing, breaking news, relationship management.
Yes.
But that's actually really what those parties are, as
Right.
much as like the headline of it is like Chris Stapleton, for example. I attend it, but you run into everybody, and you see all the people that we work with in this space. It is the convention of the NFL. So it's a mix of work and play. I'm looking forward to having Saturday afternoon to just hang out with my girlfriends and actually tour Bourbon Street a little, because I've never done it.
I'm sure Buck Rising takes way too much of your time as well.
Well, he always wants to hang out, and I don't want to hang out with him. No, here's the thing. It's not because Buck wants to spend time with me. He wants to take advantage of my abilities to get into parties.
Yes.
And I just, I basically just finesse my way in. I'm never invited. But I'm just like, hey, I'm important. I just, pretend to be something. This is why I'm wearing, so for those listening, I'm wearing a peacock-colored leopard print, which is obnoxious. But you look
it's
important.
awesome.
So people are like, oh, this person's definitely big time. I am so
somebody.
not so.
So you're always getting Titans information, and we do appreciate that from a content perspective, doing what we do. You ran into Derrick Henry. He said he wants to retire Raven. Titans fans take it a certain kind of way. We all talked about, what else is he going to say, right?
So I think it's probably important to specify. He wants to finish his career in Baltimore. That's how he meant it. I don't think this was something where he made a decision of, when I hang this thing up, I'm definitely going to finish it and finish this as a Baltimore Raven. It meant this is my last run here, and I want to finish this in Baltimore. And he's happy. We talk so much about this offense and how it works and how Lamar has helped his game improve. And we're seeing a version of Derrick that we saw, 4 or 5 years ago. I can't believe he's 31. He did not look 31 out there this year.
No, it was an incredible year.
So we had a great conversation just about the running backs in general, how it's a timeless position that needs to be more appreciated, and it's why I think he feels so much pride in the fact that Saquon is helping the cause along with him.
Amazing what you can do when you have a offensive line
Yes.
and a quarterback that helps out too, right?
And I think that's what's so frustrating too, and I feel for Titans fans because they're watching this, and it's just it's like watching your ex go off to somebody so much better looking and richer and all that. It's just, unfortunately, much like Saquon, the rosters are just different. And look, it doesn't mean that Derrick could not have helped the Titans. He's that type of player that can transform an offense, but I have a hard time believing he's putting up the numbers that we're seeing if he stays in Tennessee with the situation that they have there.
Exactly
obviously
right.
a quarterback, totally different type of quarterback.
It's not happening.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Okay, so obviously, Titans, lots of breaking news here in the last couple of months, an entirely different front office there, minus Chad Brinker. Your thoughts on what Miss Amy has kind of put together and Brinker has put together there?
I think they put together a brain trust of people who are all very good at one specific thing, right? So Mike Bergonzi, obviously you guys know where he comes from. In Kansas City, they have a very specific way they run that operation. He's going to be the one responsible for really looking at these players and figuring out in order who the best ones are. That will be Mike's expertise there in the front office. I think Chad Brinker will just be the overseer of all of this and just being the leader, we'll call it like the CEO, so to speak, of this front office. And I like what they're doing here. I don't know specifically what happened there at the end with Rand Carthon.
Right.
But
Were you surprised?
I was not surprised.
Okay.
I was not surprised. Only because you hear so much chit-chat coming out and around the league, talking to other teams. I knew there was a problem when I was talking to teams that wanted to do business with the Titans, and they'd share sort of who was in charge and who wasn't in charge. And I could tell the structure was not the way it looked on paper. So that threw the flag up. I was like, wait, so you're not talking to this person? So something was off there, and it's unfortunate because I know how excited the Titans organization was to have Rand, be part of them, be the face of them almost in a way, because, he has that really magnetic special quality. Right. But
he's a relationship guy.
But here's what I like too, and I give Amy credit. She pulled the Band-Aid. It's hard. It is a hard thing to do, to go, I got this wrong, especially with all the hype around Rand. Yeah. So she made the move. I think we could all probably say she's made other moves that aren't always great either. And I say the same thing about the owner in New England, to go, you know what? I picked the wrong guy. I'm going to get the right guy. And he was able to do it. And I know that was not easy from what I hear in terms of him making that decision of, I need to admit to the world I messed up. And now there's the connection. Now he's got the former Titans head coach running the show up there.
Well, where Brian Callahan is, your thoughts outside of, we understand how you're graded. On your record, that is what it is. But you look at a situation like Cliff Kingsbury, who took a step back going to OC. Do you think it may be a situation like that with Brian Callahan?
I don't. I think this was a hard first year. Yeah. Where he needed to just learn the trails. Okay. I think he learned a lot. I think there's going to be growth. I think there is already, even just having conversations with him at the Senior Bowl, he's different than he was last year when I saw him at the Senior Bowl. And I think sometimes you can't teach the things you learn on the job. And now that he's gone through this first year, figured out the booby traps, figured out who he can trust, figured out how he wants this team to look and be. To me, the priority is this team needs to find identity. One of my favorite things about covering the Titans all these years is I always knew who they were. I was never confused about who the Tennessee Titans were going to be every single game. Granted, there were some games where you're like, how are you not beating the Jags? Why are you letting the Texans in this game? Right. You just beat the Chiefs last week, right? That bothered me, the inconsistency sometimes. But you just always knew when they were going to go up against a great opponent, these guys were going to find a way to win, and they were going to play smart football. Yep. I want the Titans to go back to that, but with a Brian Callahan flavor.
Dianna Russini, NFL insider for The Athletic. So what do you think they do with that number 1 pick?
Ooh, it's the most common question I've been getting.
Yep. I mean, we have to ask it.
I split. I go back and forth. My opinion of this, I think they go quarterback. And I think they go quarterback because this last year went so poorly, and they're unsure of whether or not Will can really get to the level Callahan really wants him to get to. I think they believe in him still. I don't think they've lost confidence. I just think they need to bring a young rookie in here that Brian can work with and put together an offense that how he sees and how he can make it the best. They'll probably trade out.
we go back and forth. Dianna Russini.
Every day. Call me next week. I'll tell you. I'm like, they're trading out. The Giants are moving up now. I do think the New York Giants are a team that are going to call them. I think the Giants are locked in on trying to get a quarterback. So we'll see if Tennessee's going to try to, trade out, maybe find some more pillars for this team as they continue to find out who and discover who they really want to be here.
Right. So if you
then what do you do at quarterback?
Yeah. So if you decide you don't want quarterback, you trade down to 3. You get who you wanted, and there you go.
The problem is the veteran quarterbacks that are available. Yeah. It's not great. It's not great.
They all have torn Achilles.
And they're old.
And they're old.
Right.
I know the torn Achilles thing. It's just I think we've learned it is a tough injury to return from. Right?
Dianna Russini, NFL insider for The Athletic. Thanks for sitting down. Appreciate it. Despite our relationship with Buck, we appreciate the
I am never
time.
Going on Buck's show again. This is my new show.
Yes. You hear that, Buck Rising?
There we go.
Take that, Buck.
We're
Buck
coming after your people.
Buck is out. I'm in. Thanks, guys.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Compton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned. These are your guys. Get on up there this weekend to get it done. Daniel Gupton and his crew are ready to help you out, and they're going to get you headed in the right direction. Just let them know what you're looking for. Maybe you need something with more room, better gas mileage, maybe something a little less expensive. They will have you covered. They've got incredible new inventory, but also their pre-inventory is spectacular. Check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is where you need to go to get all the dealership information, address, phone number, inventory, all the deals they have going on in February right there at GuptonMotors.com. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. Just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. This will be your best vehicle buying experience ever. So if you're looking around for that next new vehicle or new to you vehicle, make sure you include Gupton in the process. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3450 Tom Austin Highway. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Joe Spinano live from day 3 here in New Orleans at Super Bowl Radio Row. In NFL news last night at the NFL Honors, Bills quarterback Josh Allen took home the MVP trophy, edging out Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson by 4 first-place votes. Allen becomes the first quarterback since 2003 to win the MVP, despite being on the second team All-Pro. This morning, it was announced that the NFL is headed to Dublin to play a game in Ireland. The international games continue for the NFL. This weekend, it's Super Bowl 59 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs are looking for the first three-peat of the Super Bowl era, while the Eagles are looking for their first Super Bowl win since 2018. Kickoff for that one is on Sunday at 5:30. This weekend in college hoops, number 4 Tennessee on the road at Oklahoma. Tip-off at 11 a.m. You can catch the Vol Network call the game right here on The Zone. And number 1 Auburn hosting number 6 Florida in a top 10 matchup. Tip-off for that one is at 3. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from Radio Row in New Orleans. We appreciate you being with us. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. The Buzzing with the Boys guys are here. Will Compton, Taylor Lewan. What's up, boys?
Familiar faces.
Glad to be here. Feel like we're at home a little bit right now.
No bad days, Taylor.
0. And, hey, guess what? We got to say when we're wrong. Was wrong about Titans being 17-0 this year. I was wrong about that take.
You did this, man.
That was a tough one.
I felt
that was a tough one for all of us.
I felt good about it when you made that pick.
I mean, if you look at it on paper, it wasn't crazy, right?
No, it wasn't. Not
it
at
wasn't
the time.
crazy.
Not at the time.
I did not think it would go that bad.
It did not go well.
Yeah, no, that was not. That wasn't it. But, hey, next year, guys.
Yeah.
Going 17-0 next year.
You can always reset.
Offensive line being better, that didn't really go well either on the right side.
Yeah, I feel like when you have a ship that's sinking, you have to patch all of the holes, not just a couple of holes. That's what we found out with the offensive line this year. Love Nicholas Petit for Prince.
Oh, God. Yeah. Prince, we're doing it. We got something going on. This is serious over here.
Like not right now.
Very serious.
My God.
By the way, you have to describe what he has on.
I have no idea what just happened.
Real tight
top or something. Those like Alvin from the ship. Jeans and then like
it was like a crop top.
Yeah.
Like
I think he's going for like a black male Miss Rachel. That's what he was going for. Yeah, that was his thing right there. Landed that plane. Yep.
So how quickly can they fix right side offensive line?
I think you can do it relatively quickly.
Can you?
Depends on your cap space. I think they got pretty good cap space this year. I would trade that draft pick.
You would?
Yeah, I would. I've been thinking a lot about it. And if I take the Rams, you look at the Rams a couple of years ago when they went to the Super Bowl, they took their draft equity, they got rid of it, and they invested in players that were already solidified in the NFL.
Yep.
I would go, with having the first overall pick, people saying how this draft class is kind of like it could be good, could be not, but it's not as strong as it has been in past years. I would move from that, but you're going to get some opportunities in free agency with some right tackle guys, some serviceable guys, but they also have to do a better job of play calling. You have to do a better job of play calling of making it more of a offensive line friendly system. It is very difficult to be on an island 62 plays a game. 62 plays a game. So that's a lot. That's a lot to do, and the supply is very low. The demand is very high.
Yeah. Dawn was over there shaking her head no on the trade in the first round.
What would you do?
Compton, where are you at?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Will you
draft a quarterback?
You can't do that. You can't not have it.
Probably should get a quarterback.
I tell you what. What's that cat's name out of Penn State? Carter.
Yeah, Abdul Carter.
That is a freak
else.
right there.
You like him too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, but like you need a quarterback. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but are you going to get that one in the draft?
Yeah, you don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know that answer. That's why I lean towards taking the equity you do have. You're very rich in draft capital.
Yeah.
Go and put that in players that you know have had success in the NFL level.
Were you surprised that Will Levis struggled as much as he did? Like, where was the disconnect there?
I think he said it in his post-game press conference. It's like he just got caught a lot of like trying to make things happen, make things work. We had Jameis Winston on earlier this week, and I
love him.
He's unbelievable.
Oh
unbelievable. But we were talking about quarterbacks you've watched this season, and he brought up Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, which kind of took me back for a second because like those guys didn't have like the most stellar years in the world. But he was talking about their process of like knowing when to put your foot on the gas and when not to put your foot on the gas. Not trying to always push the play down the field, knowing where your checkdowns are, and getting out of jail when you're in a bad situation.
Right, not trying to win the game every drive.
Yeah. And you see Will, and I've said it already kind of once on the show. I like Will Levis. He's a good guy. He just got caught up trying to be the hero in situations where he didn't necessarily need to be. As he was memeable, I think September, October, November.
First month of the season.
Yeah, every single week it was tough, man. So you hate to see it.
We got a board for those guys.
Oh,
It's called the good guy.
Yeah, you got a
board.
good.
Doesn't mean that
good guy list.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Doesn't mean you should be on the damn field.
I'll tell you what, who might be an option this year? Marcus Mariota.
Stop it.
Oh, he's been on the board. He's
bring him
He's
back.
on the good guy board. He's on the board. He's on the
These
board.
are great guys.
He is a great guy.
If you're having a good guy
on the
contest,
good guy board.
these are the people you want. That don't
He's gonna win.
necessarily.
He's going to win the good guy contest.
Bingo. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Yeah, spot on. This is what I want to know, though, real quick. Because we always talk about the offensive line, all of these voids that we need to be filled, quarterback. But, Will, the linebacker spot, what are you thinking about that? Because that's something glaring, too.
I mean, so who's the cat? Was it Kenneth Walker?
Yeah.
I mean, he played his ass off.
He did.
And,
Kenneth Murray. And
not
Joe-
Will, I like to say Will Compton 2.0. Gibbons.
Yeah, Dr. Gibbons.
I mean,
Dr. Gibby.
Dr. Gibby. Like, you hear about these guys and the way they're able to play the game. Like, you also need pieces around you.
Yeah.
I do think they are good assets. Are they guys that you're going to build the entire defense around?
Right.
No, but they are valuable pieces. I think there's a lot more options. It's like Harold. He carries a lot of cap space. I don't know what's going to come of him in the offseason.
Yeah.
But just talking about Carter, like somebody who can run around and hit. Like, you need playmakers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say the inside backer spot is just a couple of just playmakers who's going to take over the game.
Right.
But to me, those are guys like I think there are a lot of issues going on that you can fix before you look at the linebacker spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you were kind of like a Dr. Gibby guy, like the white guy.
Oh, he's an OG.
I mean,
You know, like
undrafted
the
white guy.
brains.
Yeah, you get the
Yeah.
respect
There
of
is
the team.
no
You're wearing the
Gibbons.
green dot.
There's no Gibbons without Will Compton.
And me,
There's probably not a white linebacker in the NFL without Will Compton. He crawled so the rest of that league could run.
Luke
baby.
Kuechly walked so I could run.
Yeah.
yeah. But
forgot about Luke.
I know me playing and thinking and talking through that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not sitting here some all-world beater, but you get some guys in front of me on the side behind me.
Watch
We're
me
gonna be
work.
playing.
Yeah.
So well.
Watch me
Trust me,
work.
I'll be communicating out there, and I'll be around the football.
Yeah,
Boy,
no
look
doubt.
at Will out there. Boy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
True locker room guy. You need those guys. All
No,
good
you
guy
do.
team.
Yeah.
All good guy
Yeah.
team.
Ain't nothing wrong with that list.
Nothing wrong with that list.
Okay.
I didn't like your look when I was talking about Marcus Mariota.
No, because when you said he was going to win, I was like, but
Bro.
that ain't necessarily what you need from the
You got a
second
lot.
half.
You got a lot of
stepped in.
You need
bias.
the
You
good
got a lot of
guys.
bias.
Yeah, you
A
need the
lot
good guys
of
to be a
bias.
piece. You don't necessarily
Absolutely.
need to be carrying.
I'm telling you, Marcus has got it, dude. He's got it.
You
Bring
got
the
something
prodigal
cooking,
son
Don.
home.
What do you
Well,
got?
we just know
Don
when you
got that
bring up
crazy
his
look on her
name,
face.
the reaction from the fans is like
I'm trying to.
everybody loves him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like you want him to be that guy.
Okay,
but
he's a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Period. Are you being
Whoa.
serious? I'm looking at you.
She said it's strong
Yeah,
too. Like
just
there's no room for
so much
conversation
intention.
here.
Yeah, so much intention in the backup.
I was honestly trying to figure out if you were like messing with
Great.
us by bringing his name up, or if you're being serious.
If you look back at Marcus Mariota's career, what's the thing that got in his way? Injuries. It's
Yeah.
just like he kept sustaining injuries over and over and over again. As you leave, you grow, you develop. He has the arm strength. He's got the mind. He's got the attitude. He's got his family life. He's got a kid now. Like, I think if Marcus came back and we redid this game again with Marcus Mariota, it would be a better outcome. And even now, you see the fans, they reach back at they look at the Marcus Mariota era and they're like,
Oh, they
wow,
love
what a
him.
beautiful time it was. People forget that we went 9-7 every single year. That's crazy. But,
dying
the
for that
Titan
right now.
fans,
Yeah,
better
look
than
at
three.
that.
Titan
We
fans
missed
are
him
truly
97 days.
Like, oh.
So,
we are.
going back to the draft capital thing, if I am Callahan,
Yeah.
he knows his leash is a little shorter right now. You have
right.
a season the way you did.
That's right.
We know what the NFL is. It's not for long. I'm a huge Callahan fan. I like him a lot. But he's got to know that if you start the season the way you started last year, you're probably getting the rug pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
This guy, there's an old man in L.A. right now that has a couple more years left in him. Stafford might be an option. Sam Darnold might be an option. You go get a couple of guys like that, pair him up with a Marcus Mariota. Look at that. Now you're
Pair
cooking.
him up
Y'all
with
keep
the
on
Marcus.
naming all these
How
guys.
about-
Y'all
I-
ain't said my guy yet, man. I'm
Who's
in
your
the fight
guy?
every day. Danny Dimes, man.
Danny Dimes?
Yeah, Daniel Jones. Don't do him like that. Don't just overlook him, man.
I don't think
He's in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
as a backup,
he'll be gone.
he'll be out.
Is he
of there.
He's gonna be open this offseason?
Yeah,
He should
yeah.
be. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
they just picked him up and carried him the rest of the
Yeah,
year. I
that's
thought they
all,
were.
yeah. That was just
they were
emergency.
mixing something up. I got
hell
you.
of an athlete back there. That's all. Yeah.
Hell of an athlete
I'm
back
telling
there.
you.
He said Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes, man.
What's funny is
You're giving him the
hear
same
about
look he
that.
gave you when you.
I said,
don't know why y'all
I said
looking
Sam
like that.
Darnold
John
and Matthew
Gruden-
Stafford. You're like,
John
but what
Gruden
about
like-
Danny Dimes?
Man, I'm telling you, man, this is the guy.
Hey.
I'm in this fight every single day.
I like
Just
Daniel
like you in the
Jones.
fight for
I
Mariota,
like him.
I'm in this fight for Daniel Jones.
I don't know where. I don't know why. That's your guy. But like, yeah.
Hey,
I
that's my
I'm
guy,
telling you,
dog.
you hear stuff from personnel. John Gruden's a massive fan of Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
telling you.
But you
That
need
bad
to-
offensive line, what you want him to do? Yeah, he ran 70 yards and
guess
tripped
what
and
he's
failed.
walking
It's cool.
into?
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, but you're okay.
Daniel Penny.
But
You're
he's-
not saying okay.
but
You're
you're
saying
talking about
Daniel
the
Jones
growth.
failed. Daniel Jones failed because he had a bad offensive line.
Horrible offensive
Okay,
line.
Titans' offensive line is not statistically great.
Exactly.
But like
Now
you
you
just
want
said,
Daniel
you got
Jones.
because you want to feel pieces.
He
We
just
talking
said
about feeling pieces,
you leave
right?
a place, you get growth. He's
You
throwing
just
that
said
back
that.
at you.
He's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
gone. He's been gone for less than a year. Marcus been gone for like 7 years.
We ain't seen no growth, but we've seen it in Daniel
You
Jones.
saw
That's
him
what I'm
come out.
saying.
You saw him come out when Jaden
You can
Daniels
spot
was hurt.
start. You can spot start
You
every
can
now and
spot
then.
start
Marcus
him,
is really good for
absolutely.
that.
What about Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I would love it. He's got land.
We would
Yeah.
love it.
He's
yeah.
got land out there.
Does he have a
Awesome
house?
guy.
I know
He's got
he
land.
was.
I
think he
going to
just
build
No
a
house.
I
He's
think
got
he just
land.
Okay.
He's got
Yeah, I think if,
I couldn't
if
remember if he
Aaron
ever
Rodgers comes to the Titans, the three of you have to do a live show on ayahuasca. That should be what you guys do.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be right. It'll be only fair.
Have
Put
y'all
me in
ever
that
done
little
that?
cave he was
No.
in.
I've
I'm cool
I've
with
done
that.
other things, but never ayahuasca.
Yeah, see, I'm along
Never
those-
gone that far.
I'm along
Yeah.
them lines.
I mean, it's just
done other
nuts.
Just on a radio show. Have you guys done ayahuasca? Actually, yeah.
Welcome to 3HL.
Busting with the boys, Will Compton, Taylor Lewan. Yeah, my idea, you brought up Marcus Mariota, and Jameis Winston was on with you guys. Bring both those guys in here. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
You'll
Do it.
you'll be throwing the pigskin around. You know that. It will be exciting.
It will be
Jameis
exciting.
will
There's no
put some
doubt.
asses in seats.
James, dude, his presence is second to none.
Which quarterback? Obviously, you want Daniel Jones. You want Aaron Rodgers,
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. So
She
you
wants
you
Cam
want him
Ward.
to draft Cam Ward
Yeah.
right where they're at.
What about Shedeur Sanders? You're not on Shedeur?
I like Cam better.
Why?
What about you?
I like
I go back and forth day to day.
Yeah.
I'm
Vision.
currently trade back guy.
vision,
Currently trade back.
Yeah.
ability to read defense, accuracy, can do things with his legs a little bit more probably. Like
Okay.
I like the
Ceiling
whole
higher.
thing. I probably also am a little biased because I got to work one of his games and see him in action on the sideline, so I watched how he handled adversity, how he communicated with his teammates, like how he ran things, you know what I mean? So so maybe I'm a little biased. I didn't work a Shedeur game this year, so.
Yeah, I saw a Shedeur game this year in Lincoln, Nebraska. It was tough. It was
Oh, yeah.
And we rocked them.
tough. Rocked them.
That was our peak of the season.
We were at halftime of that game, and I literally said, I think Colorado is done.
Yeah.
They'll never survive.
Yeah, and they were.
What's happening in Lincoln?
Yeah.
No, they weren't. They actually had an opportunity to play
They
the Big
came
12
back?
championship. Came back, had
Came
a nice
back
little
alive.
chance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You were
yeah.
praying for it. So you
How
got Cam Ward 1, Shedeur Sanders 1B.
Yes.
So okay, all right.
How much fun did you guys have
Only
on that,
those quarterbacks.
that college football tour that you did?
Oh,
It's
bro.
so much
when
fun,
we hit
dude.
the
You had
doubleheader in
complete access,
Michigan,
it
and
looked
That
like.
was
yeah.
peak. That was peak. Yeah.
When we- yeah.
Except for Michigan getting just dummied by Texas.
Handled.
That was
However,
Head in the pillow,
Small
face in the
blemish.
pillow.
that's not the way we finished the year, though, Ball.
What happened in the Ohio State game?
You tell me. You saw what happened. I mean,
How
Ryan
much
Day,
did you enjoy that?
that was one of my happier moments as
Right.
a fan of football.
Right.
That watching that, being 20-point
20
underdogs,
point
20 and a
underdog.
half
That's
point
crazy.
underdogs, 13-10 at the end of the game. Like, Ryan, it was literally, we talked about the show after, there's a book by Ryan Holiday called Ego is the Enemy. If Ryan Day reads that book before that game, they win that game. But they decided to try to play big boy football,
They
big,
did.
tough, between the tackle football,
Yep.
and you're playing into the hands of Michigan. So I love it. I do not think Ohio State will ever beat Michigan ever again. It
They
seems
just
hard.
extended Ryan Day. I think he got like
That's
a 7-year
fantastic.
extension.
Yeah, I love it. I
They're all
love
for
it.
it.
I'll tell you what I do
Golden.
like. I haven't really said this publicly yet, but Ryan Hartline, that's the coach.
Brian Harlan.
Brian Hartline. He was the wide receivers coach. He's now going to be the OC of Ohio State. That is a big deal for Ohio State. I think that guy, he obviously had a lot of talent, the wide receivers, but his energy, we had the opportunity to talk to him at a spring.
Got
tour
that
one time.
moxie about
He's
him.
got
Really?
the attitude.
Yeah.
He's got the aura. Like that's gonna be that's tough for Michigan fans. But I'm excited for him because he seems like a great dude.
All right, on the way out, buzzing with the boys. Where are we going to be able to catch your content? You want to go ahead and break some news?
No breaking
yeah.
news. I mean, we're ultimately we're going independent. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, Busting with the
Downcast.
Boys. We're going to be in all the same places, man.
The show's not changing at all. Just keep it the same.
Good.
Keep working. Keep trying to grow
Okay,
it as much as
show's not
possible.
changing, but you're leaving Barstool.
Yes.
You going completely independent, or?
Yeah.
Yes, we are going completely independent. Yeah,
Oh,
we have
wow,
all the
okay.
operation there in
Let's
Nashville.
go. Yeah.
We have all of our guys.
Yeah, we
They're
are.
all coming with us.
Some of our guys
Yeah,
here,
your
we
guys
got
are right here.
Jack and
Yeah.
Garrett.
That's
those
my
two
guy.
guys. They've been with us.
Jack's my
They're
guy. I love,
Yeah,
I love
Tennessee
Jack.
cat.
I love Jack. Man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's my
So
guy.
they've been with us
Jack.
for 5 years, the entire time.
Yeah.
And then JP,
I
we
think
got a
they're
couple
born
years
and
ago.
raised in Nashville, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Jack and Garrett are. Yep.
Yeah. Brentwood Cats. Rich
Well,
kids.
hey, congratulations on all the success, man.
Thank you, man.
We always appreciate you making time for us, and we'll be watching, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
man.
Will y'all jump out and do live shows now though? Will we get some-
Potentially, there
Yeah,
is
there's-
that
there's some
potential there.
talks.
All right, I just
Talk
want
about
to know. I need a little corner, a little VIP section that I can go sit in.
Yeah?
Oh,
And
we
get
got
a little
you. We
wild,
got
you know what I mean? Drinks.
Because,
toast,
hey,
and
we're
stuff.
going to have you for the next 2 years, Nebraska, Tennessee.
Hey,
After
man,
the season,
look.
2026,
After
2027.
y'all done stole our guy.
Yeah, Mike Eckler.
Yeah.
We got the best special
We'll
teams
talk about
coordinator
that.
in the country.
Ain't
the
no
country.
question.
You
And the
do.
best
You
energy
do.
in the country.
Yes.
Y'all
Doesn't he
play
have
this
a Will
year?
Compton tattoo?
He got a temporary one when he recruited me to Nebraska.
Okay.
Because that was his first. That was his first assistant coach job, was being our linebacker coach at Nebraska. So
Okay.
he was my recruiter, and he flew in. And when they did the in-home visit, he got a temporary skull and crossbones and wrote Compton in Old English to where it looked real. And he's like, "This is how committed I am to you."
Ain't nothing better than that.
Yeah.
So legendary.
Hard to say no to that.
There's going to be some nice bets, baby.
There they are.
Nebraska
Baseball
and Tennessee,
Yes,
baby.
sir.
Yeah.
Listen with the boys. Will Compton, Taylor Lewan. More 3HL next on 104.5 The Zone.
Appreciate y'all.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now? Even a couple $100,000. Well, guess what? If you own a home, you can get that money out in less than a week with Loan Pronto. The leader in quickly converting home equity into cold hard cash. Pay off all your credit cards. Start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. Virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal, too. How about that? The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity in our area, and that is your money. Use it. One client got $150K out, paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, a personal loan, cut their monthly expenses on top of it by $1,500. Get improved in as little as one day. LoanPronto.com is where you can go on the website to start the whole process. 615-499-5780. Get the money you need for anything. That's 615-499-5780. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, broadcasting live from Radio Row in advance of the Super Bowl. Philadelphia and Kansas City going at it again for the second time in 3 years. Chris Fallica joins us now, college football betting analyst. You probably know him as Bear. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, we've delved into the NFL the last couple of years since I moved over to Fox. So yeah, here happy to be here covering the Super Bowl.
So what are your responsibilities with this game?
We have about 3 or 4 digital shows that we're doing throughout the week. We're doing a couple of different Bear Bets podcasts, myself and Jeff Schwartz, and then Sunday I'll be on the I don't even know however many hour extravaganza pregame show with a segment with Carissa and whoever else, kind of kicking some thoughts about this game on the air.
That'll be fun. I know our listeners are familiar with you with your college football work. Do you enjoy the NFL too?
I do, and it's interesting because when I had worked, college football is my passion first and foremost, and loving that sport. And then when I worked on the Amazon broadcast with Herb Street, the 1 year there, it was like, wow, the speed of the game, the intensity of the game, and just how fast the game goes by was pretty amazing. But I love college football, but the NFL, it's a little easier in a sense to kind of handicap and cover the NFL because you're dealing with a lot fewer teams and fewer games per week, so you're able to dive in a little bit more, and you feel like maybe you have a better understanding of things. By the way,
you also have injury reports.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
right?
this should help.
Yes, you do, and how whether they're accurate or not, that's another story. But yeah, the fact they actually know who's potentially going to play and who's not going to play, and then the teams in the last week of the regular season saying, we're just going to venture our guys and get ready for the playoffs and make sure nobody gets hurt. Can I just extend like a big hug around the state of Tennessee? They were so mad at me during the football season for saying that during the year I heard that Nico had a concussion and he might not play against Georgia.
I forgot about that.
They got so mad at me for saying that he had concussion symptoms and
don't mess with false Twitter, Chris.
Which he did. It was like perceived like I was like rooting against him from playing. Come on, I'm just saying what I heard from someone that by the way he did, and unfortunately he did play and was okay the rest of the year. But sheesh,
false Twitter will come at you, man.
I come in peace.
Yeah, I don't want any smoke. You keep the smoke.
It's its own animal, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
They're passionate. They are the most passionate fan base that I've come across in college sports.
So
it really is amazing how, and you would think. I guess it's probably because you didn't have pro teams for a long time.
Yep.
And it was like Ohio State fans as well. You really didn't have a team in Columbus for a while, but that fan base, that state loves their Vols, and good for them.
Slay went to the playoff game in Columbus. The amount of Tennessee fans.
Have you thought out yet?
No, barely. Just my fingers. My toes haven't. But this is, man, that was an interesting sight to see. Going up there and the way they got handled. Did you expect it to be like that, though, during that game?
I did like Ohio State to win the game. Yeah. Maybe not as dominant of a win as but I did. That was one of my bets for the week was Ohio State -7, just because you've been in the arena and you know how it is. Like, that was a program that they were embarrassed on their home field against Michigan. They kind of took that personally, hit a reset button, and everyone, like, I always kind of call like the public underdog, like the dog with fleas, and like everybody was picking Tennessee that week, and there was a great case to be made for it, but it was like, really, are they going to go up there in that weather and deal with that? And they didn't. And then you saw Ohio State wound up winning the national championship, so it wasn't like they wound up losing to this ham and egg type of team.
So how do you handle a team like that when you watch them lay a complete egg against Michigan? Like, can you just in your mind be like, okay, that's just an outlier?
Yes, and that's how I treated it. I was like, Ryan Day and Ohio State, they don't have a college football, a big game problem. They have a Michigan problem. It's the same issues that they had with John Cooper forever. It's the same issues that Philip Fulmer had with Florida and Spurrier for a while. And then finally got over that hump and ironically won the national championship like kind of the same year. So it just kind of worked out that way. But, yeah, I mean, that Ryan Day record against top 5 teams was so overblown because it's like you'll lose to Georgia on the final play of the game where if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't get out with a concussion, they win that game. You'll lose to a great LSU. Like, it is what it is. But hey, that comes with the territory.
Right.
The James Franklin record, though,
Yes.
against that's not.
No.
That's real.
That's a real thing.
Have you seen any team play? Penn State played 16 games this year, including the playoff. Has any team not moved their narrative one way or the other in any direction than Penn State did? They didn't do anything to change it. Penn State is what they are, what we thought they did. Quote Jim Mora. And next year, I laugh at all these predictions for who's going to win the national championship in 2025. Penn State's my they're going to lose to Oregon. They're going to lose to Ohio State. They're going to be 10-2. They're going to go to the playoff. They're going to win a game or two, and then they're going to lose. But as James Franklin said, though, in fairness, there are 90% of the college football programs out there would trade places with them in a heartbeat right now for the success that they've had.
And they get their quarterback back. So there you go. Yeah.
And the two running backs. I get the love fest, but you're right about that record, man.
I still can't believe he made that throw against Notre Dame.
Dude.
Like,
what were you doing?
Late across the middle, back across your body.
I mean, you learned that in middle school.
Yeah. You don't go back that way.
Don't make that throw. Yeah.
You can't go broke making a profit, right?
He found out.
Overtime would have been good there.
Overtime would have been incredible.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears back to Super Bowl.
Right.
Sitting at 1.5 right now. I know that you have to save your good stuff for your TV broadcast, but
I don't even know what my good stuff is yet. I am so I keep going back and forth on this game because it's like if I bet Kansas City and they lose, I can wake up on Monday morning. I can put my head on the pillow on Sunday night and say, you know what? All right, I got beat by betting on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. If I bet the Eagles and I go to bed Sunday night saying they did it again, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Like, what were you thinking? You've seen it.
Slay made that point the other day.
He said, I'm done betting against Mahomes.
Not in the Super Bowl. I just can't do it.
And that's the thing I keep coming back to is I don't think we, the general populace, betting community, whomever, can really put a proper power rating on playoff Kansas City Chiefs. Like the data from the regular season, all these one-possession wins, all these close games, it's almost irrelevant. Mm-hmm. It's like what we see from the Chiefs with Andy Reid and Mahomes with all that time to prepare for these games and what they can draw up. Like, that's what matters. Yeah. And they've done it 3 straight years now. Like, I can't bet against that guy in the Super Bowl. now maybe Philly is the team. Ultimately, they're better, and that defensive line can get pressure up the middle and shut them down. But until proven otherwise, I have to just back the Chiefs.
But that seems to be what we always think walking into the game, and they do it in different forms. Like, what was it, a year ago or 2 years ago, since they keep winning back-to-back championships. But Chris Jones literally took over and ended that game. And then you look at all the turnovers that were happening. Then Pat Mahomes getting in the postseason and doesn't throw any picks. Just keep on throwing touchdowns. It's like, what do you do? Like what? Honestly, what do you do? Like when you watch the run that New England made, and then you compare it to this young Chiefs dynasty that they got going. What are your thoughts when you initially compare them?
Someone asked me, like, if they were to win, like, is this the greatest dynasty in NFL history? And I said, it's kind of hard to dispute that it's not. I mean, you win 3 straight in this era, 7 straight AFC championship games. They'd be doing things that the Patriots didn't do. And someone to make a little bit of a baseball analogy to kind of saying, like, it's a different guy. Yeah. Like, I'm from New York. I'm a massive New York Yankees fan. They kind of remind me of those mid to late 90s Yankees teams where, okay, it's Joe Girardi hitting a triple against Greg Maddux in the World Series. Mm-hmm. It's Scott Brocious hitting 2 home runs in a World Series game. It wasn't always necessarily Bernie Williams or Jorge Posada or Derek Jeter. It was all these other guys that did things. And that's the funny thing about handicapping this game as well. Like people are, who do you like to score a touchdown? Who do you like this? And like one of the ridiculous things is if you go down and look at the list of players to score touchdowns for the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, it's like it's MVS, it's Kadarius Toney, it's Sky Moore. It's like all these ridiculous play. Like so, it's like okay, what random Chief du jour at a big number is going to be the one to score a touchdown this year?
Mm-hmm. The one thing for me, Patrick Mahomes or Saquon Barkley has been a godsend for who? in the betting world right now. Which one has earned the most? Because Saquon has went bananas week in and week out as far as getting over 125 yards, touchdowns. Pat Mahomes delivering too.
I think it's Saquon easily. Yeah. He has eclipsed his rushing total more often than not. I know some people that bet him at big numbers before the year to be Offensive Player of the Year, and he's going to win that award. You could have gotten him a couple of weeks ago prior to the conference championship games at like 5.5 to 1 to be the Super Bowl MVP. So I think it's going to be. I think it's Barkley simply because of what he's done. Because it's interesting because Mahomes this year, in a lot of instances, in terms from a betting standpoint, he didn't necessarily have the 300-yard passing games, the 4 touchdown passing games. It really wasn't that. But Barkley, he's gone to Philly and done everything that I think Giants fans were hoping that he could do for them, but he wasn't going to do this with the Giants.
No, he wasn't.
Like the Giants' offensive line is terrible. The quarterback, like it's not a running back of his caliber. When you put him on a team ready to win, it's a perfect marriage. And
we said the same thing about Derrick Henry.
I was just about to say, the same thing we said.
He would not have had this season in Nashville. He just wouldn't.
He wouldn't have because, shoot.
Okay.
He never even got to the line of his before he was his.
All right, so you can help me out now. What are we doing with the number 1 pick?
No.
So the way I position that is,
it's a year to have it.
I'm like, on January 17th, I think this. But on January 31st, I thought something. Like, currently I'm moved back guy, but
that's she so many holes, man.
I like
she
Cam
likes
Ward.
Cam Ward.
Yeah.
You
know, she covers college football.
I'm a Miami guy, and I love Cam as well.
Feel like it's a butt coming, Barrel.
I just wonder, like, do you put him on that roster? Like, is he going to be the guy to transform you into something else? Like, I know it's not probably a popular opinion, but why wouldn't you potentially? If you can trade back, by all means, do it. If someone's willing to give you picks to take either Cam or Shador or someone, by all means, do it. But could you make a case to take Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter number 1 and then hope maybe back end of the first round or top of the second round you take Jackson Dart or something like? Is that something that has been discussed? Could you do that? I'm getting some grim-looking faces here.
I'm in on Jackson Dart. She does not like Jackson Dart.
I ain't in on Jackson Dart because of the offense.
I think I can read a defense better than Jackson Dart.
He did well against Kentucky, right?
Hey, see?
No, so, okay, but to your point, Bear, like, that was what Will Levis was.
Right.
And that's been a freaking disaster.
That's a fair comment and a very fair rebuttal.
And this is probably less talented of a quarterback class as a whole, to be slipping. This is what I want to do. Take Cam Ward, and it's ridiculous, and I know that. Take Cam Ward first, bring in a bridge quarterback veteran, let Cam Ward sit, build the pieces around the team, and then give him a year to settle in.
The one thing I will say about Cam, and just from the people in the Miami athletic department around the football program that have dealt with him, the kid is a winner, leader, alpha football junkie. Like, I remember when like Shador and Travis Hunter were like doing their Heisman campaign. I said to the SID down there, I'm like, hey, just so you know, like Colorado is really pushing their guys around, taking them to game day, taking them to Big Noon, and like getting them on the air. And he was like, yeah, he doesn't want to do that. You don't understand. Like, Cam just wants to play ball and be around his guy. And I'm like, that's fair. That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
But like from day one when he walked into the Hecht Athletic Center, it was like, okay, this is my team, and he kind of transformed that team into the best offense in the country. And like we were talking about him being a day 2, maybe even a day 3 pick prior a couple of years ago. Like, he put his name out there for the draft, and he wasn't getting it. And now a year portal, have a great year, and now you're talking about being the number 1 pick in the draft.
The more and more I hear about people that have really watched him and been able to be in his presence, is winning me over.
Yeah.
It's starting to win me over more and more with Cam Ward, man.
So I worked that Miami-Syracuse game. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Had 21-0. It would have been all I had to do was win that game, and they'd be in the playoffs.
I know. But I got to sit there on that sideline and watch Cam in adversity, here, go try and win the game for your team. Like, I got to see all that, and I'm like, it's it's in his blood.
Yeah.
Like he is built for that. You can tell there's no
Yep.
panic. He's that dude.
And everything he's kind of been through. Like you start out at lowly recruited, whatever incarnate word. Oh wow, this kid can play. Washington State. Oh wow, this kid can play. And now, okay, go portal and make yourself a bag.
What are your thoughts on it?
Different coordinators, different coaches, different offensive schemes, and it still makes
fits
it
because
happen.
he plays. What are your thoughts on him with them putting this black cloud a little bit over him with sitting out in that second half of the bowl game? Hold any merit?
How long? How much time do we have?
Does it hold any merit though?
No.
Did you know that was coming?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone associated with the program knew that was coming.
There you go.
Like that was clearly planned, and not to poo-poo the bowl games prior to the playoff and around the playoff, but it's like that's kind of the purpose of a bowl game like that. You know what? He wanted to play. Let him go out and play the first half, and then you know what? Second half, we're going to do a two-pronged solid. We're going to make sure you don't get hurt. You went out, you played in a half with your guys. He could have pulled a Restrepo and not played at all.
Right, that's right.
And then, you know what? We really need to find out if Emory Williams is going to be our quarterback next year.
Time to transition.
And that second half kind of proved that, you know what? He's not. We need to go out and do something in the portal, and voila, here comes Carson Beck. But that was not a surprise to everyone. Everyone knew that was coming. Now, could it have been handled better after the game? Could have Mario or Shannon Dawson or someone basically said, hey, Cam should not be taking any heat for this. He wanted to play. We needed to do something for our program. The compromise was play the first half, and then after that, you sit. Yeah. But that's how it could have been handled better. But to dump on that kid for not playing the second half is ridiculous.
I'm with you.
That's not how Mario handles things.
He
doesn't care, right?
Exactly,
He's like, whatever, I don't care.
Exactly.
Say whatever you want.
Like he finally just came out. I think recently in one of the postseason press conferences, basically kind of addressed it for the first time. But but you're right. That's who he is and how he is and
how
he is ZFG and
exactly.
Chris Fallica, college football betting analyst with Fox Sports. I'm curious from a betting analyst perspective. What was it? Was it challenging in the college football playoff with the 12-team playoff? Compared with regular season, because regular season, like you can look at a point spread, right?
Yep.
And your power numbers take a 4.5. Like I've got this at 7.5. By the time you get to a college football playoff, it feels like non-expert take, but that's why you're here. It feels like those numbers have gotten so accurate with teams. Does it make it? Is it challenging when you get to that level?
I think the two things that I had the most difficulty with in grasping or being able to put a value on, or either underestimating or not estimating enough, where it was the home field in round one, how much that really was going to matter. To see Kevin Jennings out on the field an hour before the game, and he looked like he wanted no part of being in State College. Like I was like, okay, this home field is a real deal. And then just the unbalanced schedules with these super conferences now. Like it was a story throughout the year about Indiana and how they didn't play any of the good teams in the Big Ten, and they had all these gaudy offensive and defensive numbers. Like, how did that really mean? They ranked this and this and this, and now they're on the road at Notre Dame, who played a good schedule, and they had some of the best Power 4, Power 5 metrics. And and Indiana's a big underdog. It's like, wow, the first school of thought is let me take the points in Indiana, and the game's not competitive.
Right.
So I think and that's something that I moving it forward to next year, in Arizona State's the perfect example of this. Like another team that they were, Levitt and Scadaboo were awesome, but it's like, again, the schedule. Don't be afraid to take big swings on teams at big prices to win conferences like the Big 12 or the ACC, because when you miss out on the upper echelon teams in your league, you got a good chance to make the playoff. But in terms of the playoff, like the home field and kind of being able to weigh those regular season numbers, and kind of like but like you said before, there's a but coming. It's like a but.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. Bear, appreciate you, man.
Of course.
Thank you for sitting down with us.
My pleasure. Anytime. Have a great weekend.
Chris Fallica, college football betting analyst, working the Super Bowl stuff too with Fox Sports. You can catch him there. More 3HL next on 104.5 The Zone. Hey, Bruin fans. Maybe you're not a Bruin fan. You could be. The Belmont Bruins are back home at the Curb Event Center tomorrow when they take on the Missouri State Bears. Tip-off is 4 o'clock. Tickets start at just $10, and you can visit BelmontBruins.com for the schedule and ticket information. It's Bruin time. Bruin fans, single game tickets on sale now. Make sure that you stop by the ticket office or go online and purchase at BelmontBruins.com. Don't miss out on all the free giveaways, promotions. Tickets starting again at just $10. Ticket representatives are standing by now. You can text or call 615-460-BALL. If you text, someone will text you back right away. Again, that's 615-460-2255, or visit BelmontBruins.com. Belmont basketball, it's Bruin time. Best entertainment value in Nashville. Safe, family-friendly environment. Upgraded concessions, including kid-friendly and healthy choices. Free covered parking close to the Curb Event Center. Belmont basketball, it's Bruin time.
KellumStemCellInstitute.com coming to you directly with holistic stem cell therapy. You need to get to it, man. You want to get this inflammation out your body. I'm telling you right now, it is inevitable. It's going to hit you. You got an opportunity to get it out of there, though. Your body, your cells, your solution. They can not only harvest your body's stem cells, but also store them for future and continued use. And that continued use is when you go by maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and inflammation comes back. You know what? You just call Dr. Kellum and his team up and say, I need to come back in, get a little heat of that secret sauce that they have ready for you. Go back in, congestive heart failure, lung issues, or autism, arthritis, all will be handled. 615-850-4415, that's the number. You got to hit them up and you will have a direct conversation with Dr. Ethan Kellum, just like I did. And I promise you, your problems will be alleviated. KellumStemCellInstitute.com, 615-850-4415.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Our coverage at Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low T Center and Rude, who is proud to partner locally with Roscoe Brown. Jamie Erdahl joins us now from NFL Network's Good Morning Football every morning starting at 7 a.m. our time. Good Morning Football overtime starting at 9, and you've got a big Sunday coming up. Jamie.
I do.
Lots of hours.
Okay, let me just say.
Don,
so
go.
we always
Cook,
get
Don.
this. Yeah.
Here she goes.
We get this little sheet,
Yeah.
that says, it just gives us info for
What I
whoever.
just
Not
read.
that we
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
it for Jamie,
Yeah.
but whatever. Super Bowl Sunday. Wake up and catch Jamie and the rest of the crew for a special 8.5-hour edition of
Yeah.
NFL Game Day morning. What the hell you going to talk about for 8.5 hours? Do you get a break?
what?
When do you pee? Do you eat?
Yes. Yes. Guess what? These are all great questions that Don and crew, I don't have to answer because you have been sold a bill of goods. I'm not even on that show on Sunday. I'm going to have 8.5 beers on Sunday. I get to go to the game on Sunday as a fan. I'm on Good Morning Football Monday through Friday. True. I don't do game day morning. I don't know why that copy's in there. The show is.
Kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. There's the people that work on game day morning: Colleen, Rich, Mooch, Kurt, Gerald McCoy, Kyle Brandt, every insider you could possibly imagine. Cynthia Freeland. I can't name everybody. I'm not even on it. But I do get to go, just fold that sucker in half, okay? No, don't do it. I don't, but
cracks
I
me
get
up.
to go to the game as a fan, and then I will be on Good Morning Football from here with Peter Schrager and Kyle Brandt Monday morning. I kind of hope, for the life experience, once one of these, I haven't slept, and here I am hosting GMFB because I've been celebrating a Super Bowl all night. It's one of those experiences, but I hate to break it to you, but it's also very entertaining to me that you were so plugged about that 8.5 hours that I was like, I'm just going to let him do it.
Yeah, you did.
And then I'm going
She
to
let me
admit,
roll.
and then
Yeah.
I'm going to, because it is crazy, but it's
kind of
one
funny.
time a year.
Yeah.
8.5 hours? Why not? It was
I
a
know.
lot.
You're like, guess what? I get my butt up at 2 a.m.
And-
every single morning.
Exactly right.
So-
And you know what? If they asked me, I would definitely appear on it because I would be honored. So they just didn't ask. So if, instead of saying Jamie and the crew, just be like, the crew is doing it. Jamie's going to be at the game.
I will, before we kind of get into the game and all of that, let's talk about
No shame.
the Good Morning, the Good Morning Football gig and all of that.
Yeah.
Because obviously I ran into you and got to know you when you were on the college football sidelines. And this was a very different role and, stepping in. I used to do a morning news show, and you know how people are in the morning. You are family to them. People wake up with you, right? So it is always, I don't care who you replace, it's always hard to step into that role because when people wake up in the morning, they want happy, and we've said it often that we think this is the best show, the best morning show out there
Thank
by
you.
far. And it's not
Oh,
even
I thought you were
close.
talking about our show.
I think
Oh,
it's
well,
the
yeah,
best
ours too, but yes.
show
No.
in Nashville. This one.
No. I'm
Just
talking
right.
about Good Morning Football.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank
I'm like,
you.
did I not make that?
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, what was the transition like for you, especially when you go from sidelining and you
Yeah.
still do that, but
Well,
to do
I
that.
had been on the sideline on CBS in some capacity, whether it be the NFL or the SEC, for 8 seasons. And sideline is a tough job. It's a great job. You get to know a lot of people in football. But the truth of the matter is you're on for 30 seconds at a time, and you're talking to coaches, and you send it back up to Brad and Gary in the booth. And so my biggest fear in pursuing this job was essentially, are they going to buy the fact that this person who's just spent 8 years speaking for 30 seconds at a time can go and do TV for 4 hours? And whatever I said, however I was in meetings, I convinced them that I was going to be able to handle it. And I think it's gone great. This is my 3rd full now regular season completed on GMFB. I am very proud of what we do and how much we love football. I love a lot of other sports. I love talking about football for 4 hours a day, specifically in the NFL. My college experience comes into play. It's super helpful knowing all these guys that came out of the SEC. But we just love talking about the NFL for 4 hours a day. And for me, I always knew I was ready to do it. If I was 25, I don't think I would have been right for the job. I think I needed to do those years piecing the knowledge together. But when I got the job at 32 or whatever I was, they really say that experience breeds, your profession. And here I was, 10 years in TV. I was ready. I had lived enough life in football that I could sit down and chop it up for 4 hours at a time.
yeah. Well, and y'all have fun, which
We do.
is
It comes
what
across.
we like to do.
High
Yeah.
energy, have
Oh my
fun.
gosh, yes. Yeah.
Jamie Erdahl with us from the NFL Network on 104.5 The Zone.
This Super Bowl, let's talk about it real quick. You're going to enjoy it from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
But if you were looking at it from a different perspective, if you're on Philadelphia side or Kansas City side, is there trust in what Saquon is doing to carry over and get there? Or is it enough to say Pat Mahomes has been here? You just talked about your experience and leading into it. He's been here and he has experience. Can you bet against him?
Well, the beauty is that those two guys that you just referenced, like they are in control of what they can control when they are on the field. It's not like it's Saquon trying to take on Mahomes. So I try to keep them separate as much as possible. I think if I am Saquon, the best thing that I can do for my team is keep that guy on the other sideline while I am trying to run the ball up the field. If I'm Saquon and that offensive line, I hope they do not enter this game with fear. I don't want them to enter this game with this is a Steve Spagnuolo defense. Look at what they just did to the Bills. And those blitzes that Spags called up at the end of that AFC title game, mind-boggling, mind-numbing, and I'm sure terrifying if you're Kellen Moore. But you cannot enter this situation with fear. You have to just keep playing and calling games the way that you have. That is what got you here. So I think Saquon, the big thing is we've been talking about on GMFB all week, Spags hasn't let up a 100-yard rusher in a game I think in a playoff game in 10 straight games. Wow. 100-yard rusher. And we haven't seen Saquon rush for less than 100, I think, since week 3 or something ridiculous. So something's got to give. I don't know who it's going to be. Spags can only do so much calling the plays. Saquon's the one in control of his feet and the ball. And someone made a comment that, the best thing that you can do is try to keep Jalen Hurts from handing the ball off. It's no, he has that freedom to do that. There is you can't stop him from doing that. Yes. Oh, God, it's tough. And Mahomes is experienced. This is like a pretzel game for my brain. You think I would have my thoughts after 20 hours of TV, more clear with who I want, with what I think is going to happen. But Mahomes, you can't stop him. You cannot stop him. And not, I don't mean in sheer force. It's not like they've been blowing teams out all year. It's mentally, he lives in your head rent free, I would think.
Right.
Well, the 2025 season begins after that game concludes 2 days from now. So are you ready to put the Titans in the 2025 playoffs?
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do have some beef, obviously, with the Titans. We try to make good TV on our show, obviously, and I've learned a lot of good TV from Kyle over the years, and he gives good pieces of advice, especially when it comes to playoff picks. Stand by what you think and be original. And so I always like to have a flyer team, one that I think isn't, gonna be on a lot of people's radar. I was so proud of myself when I threw up that Titan blue last September 1st. And I was like, yes, Zach Taylor, you're here, you're in town, Will Levis, mayonnaise, let's go. And then I was I think I was on your radio station a week later, yeah, Titans, let's do it, prove me right. And then obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, they got close.
Yeah. I think, and so I was thinking about this, knowing I was going to come on your station. I think what the Titans need to do is, find an identity within your division first. Figure out how to beat the Texans. And win your division. Let's not address the fact that people are trying to put you in the postseason. Just figure out that there is a team now that's been in the postseason for the last 2 years. What DeMeco Ryans is doing is really cool, and what he's building. Can't figure the Colts out just yet. We don't know what is going on in Jacksonville. Or Tampa East, essentially, is what they're trying to make it. I need to know the Titans' identity before I move forward in this relationship with them.
This relationship
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Jamie, we appreciate you. Have fun going to the game as a fan. That's going to be great.
I can't wait to hear how 8.5 hours of coverage goes on NFL. I think those professionals will be great, and I will enjoy hearing about what a wonderful show they put together, but I also will enjoy watching the game because it's all why we sit here at the tables, because we love football.
Well, we're ending our complete coverage with you, so we're going to do that right now.
Oh, my gosh. Wait, did you guys make picks already and stuff? Do you guys do that?
We usually do. We usually do.
Yeah, we can.
Hit it real quick.
I'm going Kansas City. I can't go against Mahomes.
I'll do it.
Kansas City by 6.
I'll do it. I'm going against Mahomes. I'm going Eagles.
What?
Saquon Barkley going to run the football.
last possession of the game, never betting against Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs.
Oh my gosh!
Well
going? Done. I'm not. No, I don't. I just got
reeled
you
us in
guys.
for that.
I know. This is why they put me on 8.5 hours of coverage on Sunday.
Tell us on Monday who you thought was going to win.
I will.
Yes.
I'll write it down. I'll put it on a piece of paper, and then you guys can reveal it on Monday if I was right or not.
Love it.
We appreciate you guys being with us. Our Radio Row coverage brought to you by Low T Center and Rude, who is proud to partner locally with MCH Nashville. We appreciate you guys including us in your day. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take it lightly. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
Bye, Nashville.
See ya
Wouldn't
from
want
New Orleans.
to be unless you had to work 8 hours and a half of a game.
Don't forget the have.